the gaslit days of my childhood. God, I sound like Fanny by Gaslight. I'm not as old as that. No, but when I was a wee girl, my world was a few streets in Denison and Glasgow. The centre of my world was up a close in Whitehill Street, Denison. And to the south of my world, there was the barras, the meat market, the church, and the Sunday school. We were members of the Church of England. My granny came from Lancashire, you know? And, the minister was Mr. Kessock. Fine-looking big man. He wore a frock, but it suited him, you know. Now, to the north of my world was Alexandra Park and Alexandra Parade Primary School. God, I can remember trailing up to that school on a wet Monday morning. School days are the happiest days of your life. You could have fooled me. And you arrived there and your feet were soaking wet. That was the janitor ringing the big school bell. Mind you, the look of his big red nose, I think he was a man that was more often on the bell. Primary 4. Good morning, Miss Pekin. Good morning, Miss Pekin. Good morning, Miss Pekin. That was Edward, he was a big boy. Good morning, Miss Pekin. Now, Miss Pekin, she was a desperate Dan lookalike. This woman had a full-blown moustache, a designer stubble, and she always wore a kilt. I think she tossed the caber at the weekend. But she was big. She was big in the SNP. Rumour had it she was the one that lifted the Stone of Destiny from Westminster Abbey. Herself! And you know how in those days, women were always very heavily corseted? Well, she was like that. You know, she was all pulled in there and pulled in there, and she kind of went out there. and she always spoke as though she was in pain. I think maybe the corset bones were sticking into the woman. You know? She wasn't a pleasant woman. You know, she wasn't pleasant. I think she'd had a wee disappointment in the First World War. It happened in those days, you know. And she always had a kind of sour look. The snow was blown in her face. And I used to think that the corsets she wore were too long for her. Because her legs were kind of joined together at the knees. Right now, boys and girls, stand up, hands together, heads bowed. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. There's Miss Pekin, she's fingering the belt, As sure as God was in heaven and Hitler was in Germany, I was going to do something during the day that would get me that belt. Jesus bids us shine with a pure, clear light. There's Jessie McCartney looking at me. Jessie McCartney, I hated her. She had 2 front teeth missing and 2 fangs, and she had glasses with a sticky plaster over one eye. And she was built like an ox. We used to call her Pansy Potter, the strong man's daughter. She frightened the living daylights out of me. Like a little candle burning in the night. There's Jessie McCartney, she's giving me the sign, That meant she was going to get me at 4 o'clock and batter me. I wonder whatever happened to Jessie McCardley. She's probably taken early retirement from the SAS by now. See, I'm not telling you, that's not a real name. I don't want to mention her real name because she might still be around, you know, with that aggression about her. In this world of darkness, we can make it shine. See, I always did a runner at 4 o'clock, but Jessie McCartney always managed to catch up with me and kick me between Ingleby Drive and Armadale Street. You in your small corner and I in mine. That was 2 rotten things I had to look forward to. And it wasn't even 9:30. Amen right now, boys and girls. things. And then Miss Picken, she would sit up in the front desk with her feet up in the seat. You know how teachers always did that when they wanted to be chatty? And then you were treated to a sight of the directoire knickers. Remember them? They came down to there, elastics round there. They came in shades of grey, pink and taupe. Interlock for the winter, try-sell silk for the summer. It was only teachers that wore them, you know. Now, Miss Picken, she would start off a Monday morning by clearing out her sinuses. Now, she kept her hanky, this is true, up the directoire. Up the leg of your drawers. This woman was in the forefront of germ warfare. And then she had a wee look at it, you know. No, but you remember these things when you're a child, you know. Right now, boys and girls, we're coming up to one of the highlights of the school year, the school trip. Now, if the weather is clement, we'll be taking the tram car to Rook and Glen Park. If the weather is inclement, we'll be camping out in the BB hut in Gascue Road, Fossil Park. Either way, I think it'll be quite a jolly day. Now, what have you to remember to bring with you this year? Please, miss, our gas masks. That's correct, Jean. What else have you to remember to bring with you? Please, miss, we have to bring more pieces. Wish you would learn to speak properly, Edward. It's not your pieces, it's your sandwiches. Sandwiches. No, you can't remember, eh? Of course, dunderheads have no memory. Where did I put that wee hanky? Please, miss, it's what, William? Up your coat. Come out here, boy, come on, out. Go and face that wall. I'll deal with you after the Bible reading. Well, I'll have to remind you one time. You're tinny. Every year I remind you, and every year someone turns up without a tinny. Are you going to drink your hot soup out of it? You know you have your tinny. And let me make one thing perfectly clear. On this trip, there will be no behaviour. How could you have no behaviour? And this woman was learning us to talk right. So what are you not going to bring with you this year, Edward? Please, what are you not going to bring with you, Edward? Please, miss. Ma bonanara. That's correct. Your bow and arrow. Remember what you did with that bow and arrow last year, Edward? It's all down in the headmaster's big black book. And don't forget, Edward, baby Jesus saw you too.